Good
Hello.
morning, good morning, good morning, Howie, sweetheart. Hello.
How you doing?
I'm fine. I'm a bit cold, but here I have my light,
Yeah, a little fireplace.
and this is going to.
I have mine.
You too. Okay, beautiful. So, sweetheart, this is so lovely that we connected very spontaneously. I'm now
Yes.
giving a big kiss to Maria. She knows why. You too? Okay. And yeah, Howie.
For who knows
So,
why.
hmm? What do you mean? What do you mean?
For who knows why.
For who
That
knows why? Yeah, of course.
you said kiss out to Maria for she knows why.
She
For who
knows.
knows
She
why.
knows. Who knows why?
Yeah.
Perfection. So, Howie, let's let's chat about this beautiful light,
Yeah.
beautiful, this beautiful sound, this beautiful aliveness, this this shocking ordinariness. Um, let's just chat. What's coming out there?
Well, yeah, I've always found that it's just such a funny thing to consider ordinary. I mean, um, I always thought that, I never understood how people got bored. Oh, this is nothing special, nothing ordinary, and I always thought that was kind of well, how can that be? How can things not be special? I don't understand. I mean, it doesn't make any sense to me because it seems to me that if there's nothing
Mm-hmm.
beside this moment, however you want to characterize that moment,
Mm-hmm.
which by the way can't be explained in with an infinite amount of time. No one could ever explain what this moment is or how it or what or how anything. Nothing about it can be accurately described. It's completely um just
This
perfect.
moment, we
So
can say
I don't understand
this
how
moment
it
is
can.
kind of everything we have.
Yeah, I mean, how
So,
is it?
so,
How is
so the point is, how can this not be just booming
it's
perfection,
like
right?
anarchy in it? I mean, it's full on anarchy
Yeah.
in every aspect of my potential to understand. I don't get it. How can it be? Even in the most mundane aspects of life, I just don't understand. The whole idea behind there's nothing special here. It's like,
Mm,
what are you
mm.
talking about?
It's
It
it's
just
about
doesn't make
yeah,
sense to me.
just what's popping up here. It's just simply um, it's the response, I guess.
Yeah, well, it just
When
doesn't make sense
when there is
because
well
it's
there is the seeker, and the seeker is kind of going for enlightenment, okay, for so-called enlightenment, and then it's kind of there is the idea that when I get it, whatever this is, then this is going to be wow,
well, it
and
is. But
and
what is it? What is the seeker doing though? The seeker doesn't do anything, right? I mean, that's the thing about radical non-duality that I find kind of humorous. There's this seeker, and this seeker energy is trying to do something, but you don't do anything. Nobody's thinking, nobody's doing it. So
yeah,
if you're not doing anything, then you're not doing anything. No seeker's
yeah,
doing anything. Nobody wants anything. It's
yeah,
just what appears to be
to
happening.
happen.
And
There
so
is no seeker. There is no
according to that way of dealing with it, the seeker is not looking for anything. What's saying that is somebody who thinks they found something and
Okay.
knows something the seeker doesn't, which is in itself, if anything, that's the non-speciality of it. That is the mundane aspect. That some person is trying to tell you that nothing is special here. That's what's not special. Is
Okay,
some
okay.
some goofy person that thinks they know something, that wants to say a speaker or a seeker needs to know that there's nothing special. That's what that is soul killing, spirit crushing narcissism. It's not anything pretty or particularly special. That's a jerk being a jerk to somebody that is clearly interested in something that they haven't really glimpsed on yet. And I think that the non-speciality of that is keeping the seeker in that space where they think that they're doing something wrong, but they're not doing anything. And what that does is create this vortex where a person feels like, am I not getting this? What's going on? And
Yeah,
they're stuck in the mud, and they end up going back to these people that keep teaching them that A, they're not doing anything, and then B, they're doing something wrong. And it's just bullocks. I mean, it's
yeah,
bullocks. The whole
totally.
thing is ridiculous. That there's a seeker and somebody that has found something, and
Yeah,
that person somehow has the ability to tell
yeah,
somebody that
totally.
at the same time they're not doing anything and they're doing something wrong. And it's really truly, if anything, if I've ever seen anything not special, it is that.
Yeah,
So I mean,
absolutely. I'm
yeah,
totally with you, but however, you see, it's simply playing out like this. No one is doing
yeah,
this. It's,
yeah, but
if
but see, but people say that as an excuse to get by with the reality that they don't know, and yet are acting as if they do, because what you're saying on the one hand is nobody knows anything, right? But on the other hand, somebody's trying to make it as if
no, no,
a
no. What
framework of right and wrong is supposed
no,
to
Howie,
be.
what I'm
How can
saying is
somebody know that?
that there is no one who can know anything.
So then, who's the person saying that the speaker is doing something wrong, or the speaker is doing something wrong?
No, I don't know those. I were not with any speakers who were, I don't know them.
You
Who
know,
is saying
the
this?
speaker is the one that's saying the seeker is doing something wrong. That they think that they're trying to find something, and what that is the speaker putting the seeker in a category in that they are somehow different.
No,
However, are saying they're not different. It's
sweetheart,
completely a mind screw.
let me interrupt you. Here from here, it's seen as I see it. I never, when I listen to kind of talks, right? Non-duality talks. Um, I never, I never saw it like this. Maybe it's like a question and then the response is coming. But when I was watching this, it was never like that. The response was like responding on, oh, you are not it, or it's not that. For me, it wasn't like this. Maybe for the apparent seeker, it's like this, heard like this. But I was never able to see it like this. So, it was, um, it was seen here that the whole
Mhm.
time that it's really about nothing.
Well, I love, the see, this is the thing about, this manner of genre, the radical non-duality, is that basically it's this big pretzel that gets tied into um, a kind of like a ridiculous set of rules that somehow, you know these different things are in these different places, and how you say things, or how you feel about something, or if you feel, or if you think, or blah 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 blah.
Experience,
you
no
you get caught up
experience.
into
Okay.
this vortex of things that don't matter. It simply does not matter if you don't exist. Okay, because
Okay.
existence itself does and does not exist. Okay, so reality itself is completely undefined. So what difference does it make? The death of self has nothing to do with that aspect of what appears to be named the self dissipating. No, the death of self is the death of the connection between self and the physical body. And what that means is the self is not connected as an observer to any particular body part of the physicality. And because it's not connected to any particular mechanism or part of the mechanism that creates consciousness, it's not necessarily connected to specifically the physical body. The story of the identity of Howard, the identity that has was born, suddenly has memories, lives a life, and then dies. Okay,
This
that
is okay.
now.
Well, I try to follow you, my love. Just slow down a bit for me. I'm not that fast, quick here. Just so
Okay,
let's
I'm
give it.
sorry. It's usually I end up having these conversations with people that don't want they won't allow me to make my point. So
Okay, no,
it's like
I
I have to
totally
try.
allow you. I
Yeah.
totally allow you to do the point, but please slow down, okay, so that
Okay.
I can just check the point and finally.
Mhm.
And so just maybe you can do it per example.
Okay.
Just
For
take maybe
example,
you're
like
like you say, for example, with just like for kids. Explain it like for kids with an example for me. Take yourself, Howard, with the sense of
okay.
self, no sense
Well,
whatsoever. Make the point with the example. Okay, I
well,
listen.
for example,
Mm,
um, um, uh, I wouldn't even know. How about you go ahead and I wouldn't even know where to begin, honestly,
okay.
because it's one of these things that the death of self is a celebration. It's not a nullification. It's not a corralling. It's not an understanding where you now have to adhere to some kind of logic. It's ridiculous. No, 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 no. The death of self is a celebration because
The
you no
death
longer
of self.
adhere yourself. You are no longer adhering yourself to the misnomer that the self, whatever that may be, because it's no longer defined by the physical aspects of what seems apparent, obvious.
Mm,
The
mm,
physicality, the universe, okay, your body, dimensionality, a position in time and space, relativity, all of that, matter
mm,
and motion, cause and effect, are all subjective and they have no specific um, point of origin, which would be the observer. The observer, being the self, has no position in a physical sense because it's not the hand, it's not the elbow, it's not the brain, it's not the heart, it's not the foot, right? So your observation as a self
yeah.
does not begin in a position. And if relativity begins with the observer, there's no actual point from where to begin your measurement. And
Mm-hmm.
therefore, relativity itself is subjective. And therefore, cause and effect and matter and motion and consciousness being a physical attribute from the nervous system to the brain is subjective. So you can't know the signals that the nervous system receives are actual. Okay. Or if the nervous system is even in need in order to process signals, like as if with the brain. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't know if you have a brain that is processing signals from time and space and giving you a depiction of a reality that is, in fact, accurate, even
So
if they are receiving.
this is just what I'm seeing now is just what's apparently happening
Yes, and it
for no
doesn't
one.
need and it needs no process. It needs no source. It needs no mechanism. It
It's
needs
just
no
now appearing for no
yeah
reason, no
yeah.
cause and effect, just
Well,
boom, just this
not
direct.
necessarily no reason. It's just that you don't know the reason. I mean, I can't say why or what, you know, and I all I can tell you is my what I saw, you know, which is also, all experience is subjective, and I can only tell you that what seems like time and space can be um uh, can be left. It can be you can ascend, for lack of a better word, what seems like here and now, and look at it from outside of the traditionally understood um, ideas of space and time. And so that is traditionally what I think a lot of people call the Enlightenment experience.
What
And there's
exactly?
nobody that
What
can actually,
exactly? What is what people call the enlightenment experience?
well, exactly that. It's that amongst a billion other things. I cannot tell you what
What
it
is
is.
enlightenment?
Well, it's impossible to say. I can't tell you what this moment is, so there's no way I can tell you what is outside of the moment. You see what I'm saying? If I
Mm.
can't tell you what here and now, quote unquote, is supposed to be, because I have a subjective uh, self that kind of floats around loosely with this physical body, but is not directly connected to any one particular part of it, which means that I, as an observer, am already subjective. And so when you leave space and time, or when you leave the moment, as it were, don't really leave. I am Howard, and
Mm.
you are, you are Rosa. However, I am Rosa and you are Howard. And on top of that, I am every rendition of what Howard could be. And you are every rendition of what Rosa could be. And I am every rendition of everything that has ever been or ever will be. And none of it has ever been or will ever be, because it's not space and time. Because this appears dualistically as space and time. But when you leave it, you recognize that every moment is infinite. However, it doesn't matter, because space and time is a matter of perspective regarding the subjective nature of what you feel your body is actually going through. You feel, in some respect, that you are going through a, a chain of events. Okay, there's one thing happening
As
after another,
wait a bit, as a
a linear chain of events.
when there is the sense of when there is the sense of me, everything is connected with this sense, you know,
Yeah.
that there is this there is this kind of, can we say this is kind of, all those appearance, all this illusion is felt like totally real. It's
Yeah.
happening to me, and the
Yeah.
okay, and when the sense is kind of, can we say, kind of fading away
Hmm.
for no reason or for a reason?
Well, the beauty of reason, okay, meaning and purpose, is that you can make it whatever you like.
Yeah,
Pain, for example, pain,
yeah,
for example, pain
just a
or pleasure,
story.
desire, all of that stuff. Okay, that makes the story of Rosa, the story of Howard,
Yeah, I
seem
can
so
tell you
real.
beautiful stories. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes, and they are beautiful. And in fact, they're it's no different. What's wrong with being duplicitous? There's nothing wrong with it. It's beautiful.
No,
It is
perfection.
absolutely amazing.
Perfection. No,
I
for me,
love life.
me too. This year is in loveness with
I love it.
whatever. Here, it's
Yeah.
really not about
No.
non-duality. This is really just this really booming
Yeah.
whatsoever. Every you can call it what. This is not about the talking, not about the word, not about the labeling, even not the language. You know.
Yeah.
This is just this simple
It's funny.
whatsoever.
I call it billowing. When you say blooming, I've always say billowing. It's like billowing out of nothing, and it's
Blowing,
just
blowing.
beautiful. Billowing,
What is
yeah,
it?
kind of like below. billowing, like a
Billowing.
billow, um,
Billowing. Okay, okay, billowing.
billowing. It's kind of, yeah, it's billowing.
It's
I don't
billowing.
know why I got
But
accustomed.
here it's like booming, you know. It's
Yeah,
kind of it was like kind of first of all like collapsing
yeah,
in it was into kind of totally empty, but at the same time full on.
yeah,
This
yeah,
this silent full onness, this still full onness. It's like really it's not that I
yeah,
see it or understand it. It's just like I don't know why it's like put in those words. Maybe
yeah,
because I heard others and it resonated, and now
yeah,
it's here
yeah.
trying to find words. It's like this full-on aliveness, which is totally silent, still.
The most amazing aspect to me is that none of this has to be anything at all. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to be anything, and yet it is
beautiful.
what it appears as, and
Anarchy,
yet never is
anarchy.
exactly as it seems.
Beautiful,
It's
beautiful.
exactly as it appears and not as it seems simultaneously. And the
Wait a
beautiful,
sec, wait a sec. It's exactly as it appears.
it is
See?
exactly as it appears while never being exactly as it seems simultaneously. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It is never exactly as it seems. However, it
Mm,
is always exactly as it appears. And
mm,
it is just that way. It is both.
mm.
Never actually being exactly as it appears, or never actually, or however you want to say it, never actually being exactly as it appears, but always exactly as it seems. It is
Okay,
both.
I got now
Yeah.
mixed up with the words, but for me, is it exactly as it is? It's very simple. For me, it's simple.
Well, no, because it's not. Because what is, what is the definition of is, and how could you define that? How can you define existence, and how can you say that it's exactly as it is, but
No,
not be able to explain it?
no, no, totally. There is no need to define anything since it's
Right?
simple, you know, since
Yeah.
it's
And then,
so simple. There is really no need of any
yeah,
definition. It
but yeah,
speaks for itself. It speaks
yes,
like
but
this.
there's the difference between simplicity, okay, and um, what simply is. Okay. The simplicity, it is not, the mind is not going to find it simple because it's a lack of opposites. What the mind is looking at is or is not. Okay.
Opposite. The
Being
mind
or
is
not being.
the mind.
Right.
Okay, the mind duality in a way. Yeah,
Right. The
but this is
mind
it too.
is very dualistic.
Yeah,
Yes.
of course. The thought, you
Yeah.
know. So, okay, here is simply seen by
Mhm.
no one that there is no separation. Let's put it like this.
Yeah.
So everything
Yeah.
is it, and there is
Mhm.
nothing separate
Right.
extra which can see this. So no matter what happens here, this is it.
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah
Kind of,
blah.
kind of. Yeah.
Everything is it.
Yeah. Kind of.
So and this is simply the simplicity in the
Yeah.
joke in the whole thing.
Man.
When we go and try to kind of seeking energy is
Right.
coming, and then I want to see
Mhm.
this, which always is, you know, and this is so
Yeah.
beautiful. This is so beautiful.
Well, it's a misnomer because um what that does is it creates this false sense of like this is it, it is this, that's it. And the beauty of it is that is misunderstanding the actuality of it, because it's not an answer. This is it would be an answer. It is more like you don't know because you can't know. And so the reality is, as a you, as a self, as a
Seeking
point or a
energy.
position, you can't understand it because what you're trying to do is make an equation and answer it. And it doesn't work that way. It is literally the construction of an equation
Well,
without the need of a
would you
question or an answer.
take another word for equation? Another word for
Well,
the
it's like trying to create the symbols and the words and the numerals behind a functional uh, way for somebody to figure something out. Okay, 2 plus 2 is 4. No, there are no numbers. Okay, 1 plus 2 is not 3, 2 plus 2 is not 4, 2 plus 3 is not 5. And the more complicated the math gets, the easier it is to see that none of that is true. There are no two things in the universe, even if you believe in separation, which I do. Everything is separate and everything is not separate. Separation is not separate. So
Yeah.
this is what I mean. Okay.
But it's
Uh,
always, yeah, but it's okay. Okay, my dear. How would you I cannot see. I cannot see uh I only see the wholeness. I only see everything. There is
yeah,
no, I cannot see something which even there is a claim, well, but I feel as a self. I feel as separate.
yeah,
I'm suffering. I cannot see this, you know? I'm
yeah.
not seeing this. Since I always see the totality, and this totality, I don't know if it's but
Yeah,
those are
I
all
say
words.
totality, sure.
Oh, those are all words, you know,
Yeah,
meaningless in a way,
yeah.
or
Oh
totally
yeah,
meaningless. It
knowledge, all of it.
doesn't,
Yeah.
yeah. And there is simply this here dysfunction, which is those thoughts arising, and simply be able to play with this and this and
Well,
this and yeah,
yeah.
beautiful. There's
Well,
nothing wrong
it's
with it.
amazing because the like for instance the mind, the mind is a funny little word because you could look at it in so many different ways. What is the mind, right? Is the mind the product of a brain and a nervous system processing a reality and those thoughts and that consciousness that comes out of that, the picture that seems subject object so duplicitous. You have a brain that exists in time and space, and your position of a body is essentially um, theoretically where you are in the universe in a dimension. So your position has to do with, roughly speaking, where your nervous system is and where your brain, particularly, is processing those signals. Now, if that is the case, very simply, you would think that, oh, okay, that's the mind, and giving you bearings on where you are in the physical sense of reality.
Mm,
However, that is not verifiable. It's not like something that you can actually test to make sure is actually happening. The brain is self-referential. What is telling you that the brain exists? The brain. You can't go anywhere else to find out if that's true.
mm,
And anywhere in science would tell you that you need to cross-reference your information. And upon all genres of science, that would be the case. However, in the case of information itself, being the brain, the nervous system, the signals that it receives, there's no way to do that. So, you can, as a scientist, say, this is, to the eighth decimal point, uh, the probable reality of quantum physics or the macro 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 physics as relativity states. However, uh, you can't ever say that that is actually occurring. You can't say that relativity actually exists, nor that quantum field theory actually exists. You can't say that what appears to be happening is actually happening because you cannot cross reference consciousness. And right away, what that does is it frees the individual from actually being what appears to be tied up to this birth, life, and death of the individual that it appears to be kind of lassoed to or tied to in a loose configuration. The self, once you realize or that awakening occurs, um, it's one thing to logically awake to, well, hey, I'm not, this
like
this doesn't have
logically
any
awake, like under
objective. Yeah, I
understanding
can't
and
objectively verify my own existence here. That's one thing. But to actually feel that cheese slip from that cracker and go, wait a minute, what does that mean exactly? And to
yeah.
actually feel the release from that foundation or the from that tether
You mean
of
that there is no position anymore, that this
there is no position at all. Yeah, that and that would be the enlightenment
the
experience
free,
where
this
you
is
realize
simply
suddenly,
this freedom for no
yeah,
one, that simply this, not logically, but really like, can we
no
say it's
more
just,
knowledge whatsoever.
it's like there is no position, there is no landing
Yeah,
space,
yeah.
there is just whatever is appearing to
All
happen,
right.
and at the same time simply this total stillness, total
Well,
emptiness.
it's so bizarre because it does, on the one hand, feel still, and then on the other hand, perpetually moving.
But it's not a
It's
feeling,
like,
but it's not a feeling.
and
It
it's
it
not a feeling, and it's
it's
not a
not a
feeling. It's
feeling that
not
it's
that.
still.
Yeah, people will say, and then there's another thing. I mean, we could talk about the I mean, however you want to say it, say it. It doesn't matter. But the reality is that you're not, it's not that you have an experience. It's that you leave the idea that there's an individual experiencing something and that this is it. As that is gone because it literally what I was shown was it's impossible to describe. You cannot describe it because it's not me aware of something else. It's not that is gone. There's no
Mm,
there is no point of view in which I can say
yeah,
conceptually this happened
this
because it's
is,
not a
yeah,
happening. It
this is not a
literally
happening.
leaves it
Nothing happened.
leaves that understanding, that reason, that meaning, that logic, or that ability to even speak.
Mm.
But the funniest thing is that's not where it ends. It doesn't end ever. The beauty of it is, and this is and some speakers are so mundane, and I mean they themselves are just so boring that it's like, yeah, I feel like, oh, you learned this. This is something that you have learned, and you're
Yeah,
regurgitating something you have learned.
yeah.
This is not. No, 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 no.
Howie, but this is it too. This is
Yeah,
it
but then, yeah,
too.
kind of in a way, but
And this
only
is
to the
so,
point.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
nah, no, 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 no. There's the
You're so
difference. There's no,
sweet.
no, 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 no. There's a difference. No, 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 no. Because I don't believe that. Because what you're saying is there's a difference between throwing a rock and shooting a cannon. There's no, you know, somebody learning something from a book is not what I'm talking about. And somebody learning something from, you know, and the funniest thing is you can see it within the demeanor of the speaker himself or herself. It's just mind numbing. What are you doing? What is this? It's ridiculous. It has nothing to do, and in their case, I would say that they're right. There is no enlightenment. And I'm saying it. I don't care. It is what it is. If there's a bump on a log at the head of the class, and they're sitting there saying for 7 hours, it's just this, leave that class, please. Do yourself a favor and get out of there. It's a nightmare. And if
Well,
it,
Howie, listen,
yeah.
listen, my love. Here, simply, I just love this perfection, right? Here is just seeing that the characters, the way they are playing out, like radical non-duality, also though those characters who simply are totally attracted to this, or characters who are attracted in spiritual teachings,
Yeah.
like performing and practicing
Mhm.
whatsoever. This is so beautiful. No one in those in those there is no way to choose anything. It's just this perfection out
No,
like this.
that's not true. That's not true.
Okay. Okay.
That's not true. To
Okay,
say that you,
my love, you have 2
yeah,
minutes
that's not true. That you
to
cannot.
tell me that this perfection is not true. Come
No, no,
on.
no, no. No, you're saying that choice has nothing to do with it, and I say that why are you expressed already done when there are no time and
Already
space?
done.
It's
Always
yeah,
done.
to say that you are already done and you
No,
don't
not
choose.
you. I don't see you. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't see you. There is no. I cannot see you.
No, 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 no. See, that's not how this works. No, no, no.
It's
It's not
not
that you
working. It's
can't
not
choose.
working.
If you want to leave a class, you can leave a class. If you want to leave somebody that is killing your spirit, leave them. You
If you
can do
can,
that.
if you can, leave them if you can.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. See, whether or not you want to believe you can or can't is a belief.
It's
So
happening
if you're
or not.
believing, well, hang on. You said I had 2 minutes to tell you. You don't want me to tell you?
Sorry. Tell me,
I'm
tell
trying to
me,
tell you.
tell
Yeah,
me.
no. The belief that you don't believe is still the choice to believe. So whether or not you want to play that game with yourself, however you want to do that, is ridiculous. It doesn't matter. It's completely irrelevant because it is and it isn't simultaneously. You are and you aren't choosing. Okay, you dualistically speaking are choosing. You non-dualistically speaking are not. Within space and time, you are running through a story. Outside of space and time, you have been in every moment of that story and everything that you can't even conceive of infinitely and will never leave it. So every moment is infinite and finite. And every bit of Howard and Rosa here now will always be. And it does not matter, but it will change every time as well. And so
Okay.
there is no one or the other, and there is no way that um, somebody could tell you nobody chooses anything. It's bullocks because it's both, and at least both, if not a million different subtle nuances, and all of this stuff about no one making these rules to choose or not to choose is about keeping you in their class. And it's bull. And it's a whole bunch of nothing. All of it. There's no seeker, okay, that's doing or not doing something wrong. And there's no finder. There's no guy at the top of the class that can tell you one way or the other anything at all. Okay. And if they are trying to tell you that it is one way or another, leave that class because they don't know what they're
Beautiful.
talking
How
about.
beautiful, beautiful. I thank you so much.
Leave that
And
radical class.
I thank you so much, my love. Okay, we will just stop here and we'll continue, of course, another time. I thank you for
Okay.
sharing, okay?
Thank
And
you.
I love ya.
I
Mwah.
love you too, Rosa. Bye.
See you soon.
Bye.